There was a time a few months ago where I was black pill death spiraling so bad, so fucking bad, because I was getting blown out, and really was just feeling so like lost. I'd had this is like, I mean, 4 years in at that point, and I was really struggling to get attraction, to get really any kind of breakthroughs and outcomes. And to be honest, I was in quite a cycle of casual sex, so I just get laid, and I was not really progressing towards a healthy relationship. I had a lot of different issues, man. And I recall being in a position where genuinely walking through the streets of New York, spiral death, not wanting to be here, like seeing no fucking hope, seeing no way out, seeing no way for me to change any of my situation. Like, it was two months like this, man. Cold approaching, using the apps, getting nothing. My boy, I'm not going to say his name, but he's the Reddit maxing king. Killing it, doing so much better than me. But he's my friend, I love him. And just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck am I honestly going to do? Like, I was happy for my friend who was doing really well. But the experience that I was getting was really pushing me to a point where I didn't know if my situation was ever going to improve. So it culminates in I'm attending a wedding. My friend who I talked about there is with me. And I've been getting blown out for like 2 months in cold approach. My homie's there. He's really like, he's got quite a way to go. I've had tremendously more results than him. But voila. But he is a good looking dude. Certainly a lot better looking than me. And I recall we're at a table, dude, with 4 or 5 women, and they are fighting over him. And I'm just like, God, please give me some hope here. Fighting over him. He's scrolling on his phone on Reddit, giving negative fucks about their existence. And like they're actively like, oh, you're so cute. Are you single? My friend really likes you, this, that, the other. And like he's trying to blow them off because he just wasn't interested. And it got so bad, like we actually had to leave that table and go to another table, and they fucking followed. It was crazy. And I'm just there. He's just pissed off. He's like, doesn't want to deal with it. And I'm basically like at the point where I'm in the dark, one of the dark spots of this journey. Haven't had matches for months, 6-7 months, not a single match. And tried so many profiles, like countless approaches. I'm getting laid because I was in my dom phase, and there's BDSM community. There's some women who want to find a dom, and it was an interesting niche. It was an interesting way for me to get outcomes. Yeah. Anyway, this is me at my fucking mental limit, where I don't even know if it can get worse. And then 2 days later, I go out, hit the bars with some friends, and I just do one approach. The girl tells me to fuck off, which happens sometimes, yeah. She turns around to her friend. My friend's like, oh, that's a bit rude of her. You know, he kind of trolls them a little. And then they come back raging. He's the one that's triggered them, of course. But they throw a fucking glass of water over my face. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, holy shit. This is stacking negative experiences, and so on. That really reaches a point I just basically go home and rethink things. It reaches a point where I think to myself, like, all right, looking objectively at this, it looks like I'm kind of fucking screwed. What do I do? Have a conversation with Coach D. Great coaching conversation. He hits me with some hard truths about the reality, about the options that are on the table, about you either fight or you give up. And then he starts to ask me about the variables that I haven't worked with yet, so on and so forth. You could still lose more weight, Ravi. You've got tremendous amounts of things to work on your social skills, vibe and presence and all that. And he's right. What he essentially did was get me back in my power. I was in a desperate situation where, because I kept stacking negative experiences, internally I was shattered. And you, like a magnet, you draw more in because you're in a low vibrational energy. D got me back in my power and thinking about things I can control. He's like, well, lose more weight. You can do all these things, change locations. You can do all this shit. And it actually emotionally and intellectually reinvigorated me. And bro, the most insane shit, like, it's got to be just the gods up there. You know, I'm talking to you about how my apps weren't working for a long time, but the BDSM one was one of the most beautiful women I've ever fucking, interacted with. Yeah, matches with me. We go back and forth. Yeah, we hang out. We have an amazing time. And I just think to myself, like, I just went from the darkest fucking recesses of hell, where I've been getting my head smashed in for 3-4 months at that point, nothing seemingly working, to like having an experience that just rekindled my hope, right? Really fucking interesting, really interesting. And what this basically taught me was this: the mindset you've got to have to win in this game is that, provided you're fucking breathing, there's things you can control, there's things you can improve. If you haven't optimized your SMV yet, that's there. If you haven't optimized your game, your inner game, your resilience, your social, your ability to come back, all that shit is there. The key thing that I need to get through to you is, when you get into a negative spiral, you attract more. When you get into belief, abundance, belief that you can fucking win, it's a spiritual thing. Shit happens. You start to win. This happened to me. Anyone who knows my journey, I'm going to write a book because I've done this in a very extreme way for 5 years. I went from heaven to hell many times, from hopeless bullshit, but daily grinding for like months with dog shit outcomes. I've had that over these years. And I've had times where it's pretty good. And it all comes down to your vibrational energy, your level of abundance thinking. That's what my coach D taught me, my fucking powerful mentor. When you just have that belief system that everything's happening for a reason, and that you can find a way to win, and there's so many things you can control, and there's so many variables you haven't touched yet, then it puts you in a mental state where you can really effectively fight and do the work and attract better outcomes. And that is a message to you. And it's even a reminder to myself that that's how you have to think. That's the kind of like energy you got to be around to win, to actually get somewhere in this game, and to get a dating life and social life that is worth having. For me, I look back at all this shit as memories. I've got so many memories of this shit in my head. Yeah? Because the beautiful thing is, like, my journey was not easy. It's not easy to this day. And it made me just enjoy life. It made me appreciate life, yeah? Because all the outcomes I've got, I worked for them so hard. I had to sweat for them. Nothing came easy for me in this game. And I'm still on the journey, of course, but the story I'm sharing with you is this. Bro, you have to be happy. You have to fucking make yourself happy. You have to every day be grateful. If nothing else, for the fact that there's oxygen to breathe. If nothing else, the fact that we have food and water. Like, I'm here traveling. I've been a location-dependent entrepreneur for 4 years. That is a fucking blessing. There's so much to be grateful for. When we're in that energy, all this shit, yeah, stops spiraling, and you can attract positive outcomes. And that is what it's about, boys. So, I'm going to wrap this one here today. I'm just going to go grab a coffee or something and chill, and then go back and get some work done. I'm Ravi, co-founder of a Single Generation High Performance Coach, alongside my business partner, Coach D, who is a very elite dating and social relational skills coaching expert. And if you vibe with this, if you are looking to get unstuck, if you are looking to get a great situation for yourself, makes you happy to be here in this world, subscribe, drop a comment, like, and let's win together.